Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Dice Tower, and today I'm going to be giving you very quick summaries of 41 different games. I have no idea how long it's going to take, so let's start the clock now. First off, we have Almost Words. This is a game in which you have tiles, which if you turn them different directions, there might be a U, an N, a V, whatever it might be. And that works. It's kind of a silly, fun game in which you're just trying to use these letters to get people to guess as many clues as possible in very unique ways. And there's a lot of laughter at some of the words people put down. I give this one a 7. Alphabet Stoop. This is another word game where you're trying to get rid of letters by moving these trucks and delivering them. There's a little more rule. The rule book's not great, unfortunately, in this game at all. The idea is interesting. I'm not sure that it needs a bit of house rules to make it work a little bit more smoothly, but I like the idea. 6 out of 10. Blob Party. By the way, these are in alphabetical order. Blob Party is a party game, which really is a fun game. With a little Play-Doh blob, everyone's answering a question. If you match someone else's answer, you blob together, and you have 7 rounds for everyone to blob together. A fun cooperative party game. 8 out of 10. Blutababo. This is a game in which you are the 3 little pigs building towers of Babel, and if you build too tall, God will destroy you, and you're out of the game. Yes, it's a weird theme, but it's basically just rock, paper, scissors, cards as fast as you can, and you want your pile to be the highest, but only by 1 or 2 cards. So it's tricky, silly, not great, but it's fun for 1 or 2 plays. 6 out of 10. Kabanga. This is a game in which you are trying to get rid of all the cards from your hand, but if you discard them at the right time, other people can clear their cards out of hands, or you might have to pick cards up. There's some interesting concepts here, but while it's amusing, I feel like the game just plays itself. 6 out of 10. CDSK. This is a party game in which it's a trivia style game, and you can pick a clue from 1 to 10. The higher the number, the harder the clue, and the more points you get. That's the whole concept. I just think that it's not a good game. I give this one a 5 out of 10 because I think the order, the difficulty of these is just wild all over the place. Checkers Hexagonal. This is a game in which you're playing checkers on a hex board. Your kings have some amazing abilities, but other than that, it's basically checkers on hexagonal board. 6 out of 10. Chess 90 degrees. Yep, it's chess, but you're playing in 90-degree angles, which is a unique, interesting thing. It's kind of a variant. I don't know that I would buy the game of it to prove that. I feel like you could just utilize a regular checkerboard to do that to some degree. So this one is also a 6 out of 10. Cubed, Next Level Dominoes. Beautiful, gorgeous, kind of felt pieces here with some raised hexagons. Now, there's something, I don't love the little blocking piece. I feel like there's too many of them, but this is if you like dominoes, if you like triominoes, this is going to really appeal to people of that, and it's such a gorgeous, fun little production, kind of a mass marketing game. 7 out of 10. Dance of Ibexes is a board game by Wolfgang Kramer, which is essentially a redone version of Six Nimmt. I feel like it adds too much stuff. Six Nimmt's a very simple game. This one's amusing and everything, but it's hard to keep track of the rules, and if you add a lot of rules to a fairly random game, it's still going to be kind of random. 6 out of 10. Dr. Rat. This is a deduction game that I wanted to like so much more, but for Blue Orange always makes fun, accessible games for everyone. This game is not accessible. It is uber complicated, and there's another game out there called Zendo, which does everything this game does better. It's unfortunate. There's some interesting ideas, but there's too much guesswork. It just falls apart in a lot of different ways. 5 out of 10. Doodle Mayhem. Draw a picture as fast as you can. Try to get people to guess it. The faster drawers get more points if people guess their things. It's a really sloppy production, though. It just feels like they put no effort into making this game, and the gameplay itself, it's a little too easy. So 5 out of 10. Dragon's Nest. This is a drafting eggs game where you're drafting these eggs and you're also playing cards to score points. Very bad rule book, but the game itself is kind of unique and interesting as you try to figure out, you have eggs between you and the next player, and you're trying to make them so that they score you the most points. But it's a little too much for how simple the game is. 6 out of 10. Dungeon Kingdom. So Dungeon Kingdom, there is a lot of different games. This is a very generic name, but Dungeon Kingdom is a tactical card game, and you're putting these cards out. It's hard to explain this game because the time it would take me to explain this game is almost longer than the game itself. You're putting cards in front of you that go into your kingdom or go into your dungeon. It's too confusing, honestly, for what the game does. So this one, there's a lot that I want to like about it. There's some really cool ideas in it, but the most I can give it is a 6. Energy Apex. Okay, well, this sounds like this is a much better game than the one I just mentioned here. There's like this is close to Reiner Knizia's Loco, the Loco series of games, or Botswana, things like that, where you're taking cards from different spots, and at the end, each one's going to score based on how a dial spins in the middle, and that dial will spin based on which of these card displays goes out first. So you control everything. It's a fun little game. I would give this one a 7 out of 10. Floristry. This is a small little game from Japan, which takes everything from Splendor and kind of ups it, but it ups it in complexity level. Like, I need these flowers to get these bigger bunch of flowers, which I need to get these to do that, and the game is a little too clunky for me to enjoy it as much as I could. I like the game. It just moves clunkily. 6 out of 10. Font Karuta. Have you ever wanted to play a game in which you guessed fonts? Yeah, not me either. So this one is a 5 out of 10. I like fonts more than the next person, but Ice. I know Mike loves Ice. It's one of his favorite games. One of the most gorgeous productions of the year. Beautiful art. But it just fell a little flat for me. You're digging down into ice with different actions. I felt like the game felt a little clunky, and the things you discovered felt like, you get different tiles, and then you can use these tiles for special abilities, but you never found like cool artifacts. I don't know. I just felt that the game was it's like a hip game. I just don't know that. It's a fun one for me. It's okay. 6 out of 10. Lights Out Racing is an abomination of racing game. There's so many problems with it that I'm going to do a whole separate video explaining all of them, but it's a 2 out of 10, and that's only because the production is a little nice. But other than that, it's horrible. Lil Guys. I enjoy this one. It's an I Split You Choose, a bunch of little guys. I thought that this would not be a great game, but you're splitting this display into groups, and then people are going to be drafting these groups. A lot of fun. 8 out of 10. Lindy Hop. This is a cooperative 2-player trick-taking game, which also exists this year in a game called Sail. Lindy Hop is about dancing. It's okay. It's a little random, and at the end, you just score, and it's a good job. 6 out of 10. Misfits. So Misfits is a game, Misfits is a wooden block stacking game. And there's a lot of these wooden block games out there like Jenga. And so do you like stacking blocks? That's what this game is. It's fine. I don't know that I think it's an amazing game. I mean, it just fits in all the rest of these. 6 out of 10. Monopoly Chance. Monopoly Chance is a game in which you are playing Monopoly very quickly by flipping cards over. You can stop whenever you want. I was surprised at how good this game is. It still has a few flaws. The chance cards are terrible, but the rest of the game is pretty fun. 7 out of 10. Oh, hey, Crosswalk. It's kind of like Chinese checkers for 2 people. That's not very good, unfortunately. 4 out of 10. Ren Ren. This is a game in which it's a party game where you're giving sequential association. This word makes me think of this word, which makes me think of this word. But unfortunately, it feels very clunky, and I don't think it's very fun to play. 5 out of 10. Ryu Jin. I really wanted to love this game. I'm giving it a 6, and that's the highest I can give it because I thought this would be an amazing game. But unfortunately, this game in which you pick a role each turn, and that all the roles affect each other, but they affect each other in like 6 different ways. It's too much. This game needed to be developed just a bit, and I think it'd be a really fun game about being a wolf and hunting sheep, or being the shepherd and getting hunted by the wolf. Runeer. This is a game about rune carvers, which feels completely random. It has some nice components, but I don't think the game itself is any good. 5 out of 10. Scram. This is from Bezier Games. This is yet another game in their series of play some cards in front of you and hope that they're higher than the other person's cards. Here you have a partner. It's okay. 6 out of 10. Sagongsa, this is a Korean game where you're matching these hexagons down in like domino style, trying to make gems, and some gems are easier to match because there's a lot of them and you get more points, but they're fewer points per gem. Other ones are worth more. I liked it, okay, but I mean, it's just kind of laying tiles out and matching them. 6 out of 10. Side Quest 7th Sea, this is an escape room style game from not an SKN, Board and Dice game, sorry. Based on the 7th Sea property. It's an okay escape room game. They use some ideas of sliding things around. It's okay. But Honestly, the story is so over the top, ridiculously weird. I just didn't like it all. I didn't think the writing in the game was good, and it had a very lackluster ending. Other than that, though, there was some fun puzzles in it. 6.5. Skyrockets in flight. This is basically turning timers over as fast as you can cooperatively. I think it takes their last game, Kites, and makes it a little bit more focused. It's a fun, if you like speed games like that, 7 out of 10. Stack and Stuff. This is patchwork for kids. Straight up, that's what it is. If you like patchwork, putting down the tiles, but you want a more kid-friendly version, I played this with my son. We had a lot of fun together. 7 out of 10. Star Trek Away Missions. I know Joey reviewed this on our channel earlier. I think it's Drek. It's a 4 out of 10. It has nice components. There's some really cool ideas, but you just move a few times. There's very little. You do very little over the course of the game. It's just not fun. Tales to a Maze. This is the game that got like 10s. This is the unmatched, the cooperative version. I think it's a good game. 7.5. I know it's going to sound very low compared to everybody else. I actually like the competitive version of Unmatched better. Fighting a computer opponent was not as appealing to me, although I think it's very well done, very good, and a lot of people are going to like it. And I enjoyed it. I just enjoy the competitive version more. The sound game, this is like Cards Against Humanity, but with sounds. That's not good. 5 out of 10. The Battle for Sampo. This is a giant, cool dice tower in it that does not work very well and has lots of random nonsense in this game. It's trying to use some mythology. Unfortunately, the game itself isn't good. 5 out of 10. The Glade. This is from Richard Breese, who makes some really fantastic games. And this one has a cool concept of putting out tiles on a grid, but it is so dense and so hard that I will imagine most people who try to play it are going to quit in frustration over how hard it is to put things out. A 4 out of 10. Time Jumpers, a game where you're collecting cards and putting them in a grid in front of you. It's nice. It's fine. It's amusing. I like it fine. I'd give this one on one day I'll give it a 6, another day I'll give it a 7. Trick Draw. This is from Good Games, in which you are playing cards in front of you and trying to score points. First person to get to a certain number of points wins, although there's some automatic ways to win the game. There's a little bit of take that, but the game works for some reason. I enjoyed it. 7 out of 10. Unition, this game which is almost a direct copy of Star Realms. I mean, direct copy in many ways, with different fun artwork and different things. There's some differences. There's a way even to take an extra turn over the course of the game, but that's basically what it is. It's a deck builder where you attack other people. 7 out of 10. And Watch Mojo, where you're making top 10 lists. I'll tell you what, this game I'm giving it a 6, but I think with some better scoring, I would have ranked it higher. I like the idea, but the scoring isn't very well done. But that's the only reason it's getting a 6 from me. So, boom. Just shy of 13 minutes. So there you go, 41 different games. I'll talk more about them in other reviews, or you'll see other reviews. We'll give more details about them. But if you want to know about all of them, this is a good way to check them out. Thanks for watching the Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.